These doggies on the beach are too cute. We'll get back to them, but first, let's get into what's been going on this week.
Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris faced off in their first debate Tuesday night in Philadelphia. There was no audience, no written notes, and the mics were muted when it wasn't their turn to speak. The rules are the same as when Trump and Biden debated back in June. And let's be honest, a lot has changed since then. At moments, things did get heated. But debates are a chance for voters to hear from each candidate about how they would approach various issues like the economy.
I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy.
I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again and even better.
The war between Israel and Hamas.
What we know is that this war must end.
If I were president, it would have never started.
The war in Ukraine, which has been going on for 2.5 years.
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives.
I believe the reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up.
And what to do about climate change.
The former president had said that climate change is a hoax. And what we know is that it is very real. We know that we can actually deal with this issue. The young people of America care deeply about this issue.
This is a crooked administration, and they're selling our country down the tubes.
A second debate between the two candidates has not been scheduled. The election is on November 5th, and after watching all that, Taylor Swift decided she liked what she saw in Harris and endorsed her campaign. She wrote, quote, "I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them." We'll keep bringing you everything you need to know leading up to the presidential election, so go ahead, like and subscribe.
It's wildfire season, and there are more than 65 fires burning across the U.S., most happening in the western part of the United States. In Nevada, up to 14,000 people have been evacuated because of the Davis fire. As of now, this fire is about 30% under control. Over in California, the line fire is burning near the San Bernardino Mountains and has destroyed more than 30,000 acres, which is almost 2,000 football fields. As of now, over 15% of the fire is contained, and high temperatures and thunderstorm winds have caused the flames to go all over the place.
This summer has been a very long, hot summer. So the heat has dried the fuels exponentially, causing them to be very susceptible to flame, right? And it causes them to spread even faster than what they normally would.
Further south in Orange County, another fire called the Airport Fire grew quickly earlier this week. As of now, a portion of this fire is contained. This fire was caused by a spark from field equipment, and authorities have said it wasn't intentional. Firefighters across the states are working to get all of these fires under control. And both California and Nevada's governors have declared a state of emergency. One other weather situation we're watching, Hurricane Francine, which hit Louisiana Wednesday night. We hope everyone is staying safe.
There's been a lot of talk of these, and who's using them, and when, and how. You're probably watching on one right now. It's estimated that half of US kids have a phone by age 11, and a survey from last year found that half of kids 11 to 17 receive around 237 notifications from their phone a day. So it's no shock that there's a huge conversation about cell phones and their place in classrooms. And it's not just about the buzzing distractions or trying to search for the answers to a test either. There's a growing concern about how being constantly connected can affect our mental health. We're not even getting into social media use here, but politicians, both Democrats and Republicans, have heard the call and are trying to answer by laying down the law, or in this case, writing entirely new ones.
Last year, Florida was the first state to sign a law banning phones from the classroom. Since then, others are coming up with their own solutions, and they're doing it in one of three ways. The most straightforward is a ban, like the one in Florida. This becomes the policy for every school in the state. Some states are trying a pouch program, like these. You lock your phones safely in a pouch and unlock it at the end of the day. This is the current system a lot of concert venues use to keep audience members from posting performances online. The last and most flexible is a state mandate that school districts must have a cell phone policy in place. This is happening in Connecticut and Minnesota. It can change from district to district.
But not so fast. There are currently tons of petitions online with thousands of signatures of both students and parents who disagree with the bans. Parents want to be in contact with their kids in case of emergencies and trust their kids to be able to be responsible with a phone without getting distracted in class. Some parents even think teachers and schools should be helping students develop healthy relationships with phone use. What do you think of all this? Here's what some of you told us.
I think we should be able to have our phones in school for communication, such as during lockdowns, which my school happened to have last year, and I was able to get in touch with my parents, which they very much appreciated.
Sometimes kids need a break from school and they need a break from learning so they can go on their phones and take a break.
I want to have my phone in school so I can call my dad or my grandma.
We want to know more from you. Does your school have a cell phone policy, or do you live in a state that just started one? What do you think about it? Use this to tell us.
California surfers had to share the waves with a special breed this past weekend at the 19th annual Surf Dog Surf-A-Thon. Dozens of Pooches doggy paddled their way out to catch some serious swells. The yearly competition is held at Del Mar Beach, a dog-friendly spot near San Diego, and was started by the Helen Woodward Animal Shelter 18 years ago as a fundraiser.
You know, once you're out there on the board, on the ocean, nothing matters. It's just out there having fun with your best friend.
The pups competed based on their weights, and then first place winners battled for best in surf. Dogs are judged by how long they ride the waves, technique, enthusiasm, and confidence on the board. Never just being a sweet little guy. Owners can hang paw too during the freestyle category. And the big kahuna turned out to be this little guy, Petey. The winner of the extra small category took home first place.
From surfing dogs to surfing tweens, we had a chance to meet King Nicol, a young surfer who has dreams of going pro.
I'm a California surf kid. Of course I have 7 boards for every day of the week.
Honestly, it's kind of like walking for anyone else because I started surfing when I was a baby, like 1 year old. My dad was a pro surfer like his whole life. So when I was born, I was just on the front of his board. He was always surfing. I got into surfing because of him. So then I just kept it and kept surfing. And now I'm a surfer. I've been surfing my whole life.
Surfing's taught me if you try really hard at something and do it for a long time, you can get good at it.
The first time I ever landed an air was in a wave pool. It was the best time of my life. It was so fun. I was so happy I finally landed my first air. And then my first air reverse, where you do a spin in the air, that was super memorable.
Day 2 of surfing every day for a year, and I'm not forgetting my wetsuit this time.
A typical day for me is normally I wake up, eat some breakfast, and then whatever wave looks the best, I just go there and then surf for about 2 hours. And if it's really good, like 4 hours, come home, eat some lunch. Sometimes I'll go skate at like a friend's house, and if I don't, I'll just go back down to the beach. Me and my dad, he's my coach. He's been my coach since I was born.
Going out for my heat.
I feel like I kind of homeschool to surf, and I base my whole life around surfing. So I would love to make it on tour and do the Olympics. I want to be competitive in surfing.
I'm a big brother. I can be mean to my sister, but if you come near her, you're done.
She's only 10. But I think that once she's strong enough to paddle into her own waves and she's big enough to really push hard and through her turns, I think she will get good really, really fast. So that'll be really cool to surf with my sister while I'm growing up.
Have you ever tried building a house out of playing cards? It's pretty hard. One wrong move and the whole thing topples. Well, an architect named Brian Berg not only builds them as a professional card stacker, but he just broke the Guinness World Record for the tallest playing card house built in 8 hours. The tower was 54 levels high, so tall that he needed to climb a ladder to finish it. It was made entirely from playing cards, no glue or tape. Kelsey, without glue and tape, how do the cards stay together?
I'm very happy you asked because I was frustrated. And it's our question of the day. What helps to stack a deck of cards? The answer? Moisture. The answer? Moisture. When Brian was breaking the world record, he actually had 7 humidifiers in the room to make sure it was as humid as possible. The more humidity in the air, the more moisture, and the better the conditions are for stacking.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah.
So we want to know, if you had the chance to break a world record for the tallest house made out of something, what would you build? Pencils, popsicle sticks, toothpicks? I'm going Lego because I know at least they stay together. Send us a picture or video if you actually try building something.
And that is our show for today with falling cards. And I must ask Larry the question about the Super Bowl. How are you feeling about Kendrick Lamar performing?
Oh, I think it's going to be a great show for everybody except Drake.
And I am not that mad about that.
Sorry, too much?
Here, let's take this back.
I'm also about to rub my belly and pat my head at the same time.
No, put the cards in your hand down.